while the world's attention remains fixed on the escalating confrontation in the Strait of Hormuz. A significant and strategically consequential military development is unfolding thousands of miles away in the disputed waters of the South China Sea, and Beijing is watching every move. Since April 20th, the United States and the Philippines have been conducting the largest iteration of the Balikatan military exercise in the program's 35-year history. The drills, which will run through May 8th, involve more than 17,000 American and Filipino military personnel operating across the northern Philippines and the contested waters of the South China Sea. But this year's exercise is not simply larger than those that came before it. It is fundamentally different in ways that carry enormous strategic significance. For the first time in the exercise's history, Japan and Canada have joined not as observer partners watching from the sidelines, but as full and equal participants. That distinction matters. It signals a deepening of the multilateral security architecture that the United States has been quietly and deliberately constructing across the Indo-Pacific region over the past several years. It signals that the coalition defending the rules-based international order in the South China Sea is growing in numbers, in capability, and in commitment. General Robert Bonnet, speaking to reporters at a briefing before the exercise commenced, described Balikatan 2025 as a demonstration of America's enduring commitment to a free and open Pacific. Pentagon analysts watching the exercise closely have offered a more specific assessment. They see it as a live test of Washington's multilateral deterrence network in Southeast Asia, a rehearsal in real time of how allied forces would organize, communicate, and command operations together in the event of an actual crisis. The operational scope of Balikatan 2025 goes well beyond anything previously conducted under the program's banner. For the first time, a third country, Japan, is participating in a live-fire exercise involving submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The significance of this cannot be overstated. Japan's post-war constitution and its historically cautious defense posture have long constrained the country's military from engaging in the kind of forward, assertive operations that this exercise represents. The decision to fire live ballistic missiles from Japanese submarines in a multinational exercise in the South China Sea is a statement about Japan's evolving strategic posture, about its deepening security partnership with both the United States and the Philippines, and about Tokyo's assessment of the threat posed by Chinese military expansionism in the region. The exercise also features enhanced intelligence sharing protocols and a joint command structure linking Tokyo and Manila under direct American coordination, a framework that builds directly on the Defense Cooperation Agreement signed between Japan and the Philippines in 2024. This is not a temporary arrangement designed for a single exercise. It is the foundation of a lasting security architecture being constructed in real time. Canada's participation, meanwhile, reflects the formal commitments made under Ottawa's Indo-Pacific Strategy, released in late 2022, which committed Canadian forces to a significantly expanded presence across the region. Canada's full partnership in Balikatan 2025 is the most visible operational expression of that commitment to date. The location of this exercise is not incidental. It is deliberate, calculated, and understood by every party involved, including Beijing. The drills are being conducted across the northern Philippines and, critically, in the disputed waters of the South China Sea, waters that China claims as its own sovereign territory and that the international community, backed by a 2016 ruling from the International Court of Arbitration, recognizes as international waters subject to the legal rights of the Philippines and other regional states. Coalition ships have been observed approaching areas in close proximity to Chinese coastal installations and Chinese military units operating in the contested zone. A major amphibious landing exercise is being conducted in Zambales Province, a location approximately 230 kilometers from Scarborough Shoal, one of the most intensely disputed maritime features in the South China Sea, and a recurring flashpoint in Chinese-Philippine confrontations. An additional drill is planned for Ibayat Island, the northernmost point of the Philippine archipelago. Located just 155 kilometers from Taiwan, the proximity of that exercise location to Taiwan is not lost on anyone monitoring the strategic dimensions of the current regional environment. The exercise will also feature the firing of advanced anti-ship missiles recently purchased by the Philippines from India, a capability specifically designed to deter and defeat the kind of naval operations China has been conducting with increasing frequency in the region. There are also plans to sink a decommissioned World War II-era destroyer in a live-fire naval strike demonstration, a dramatic and unmistakable signal of the coalition's collective ability to destroy surface vessels in contested waters. And, notably, the exercise will utilize the HIMARS missile system, the American-built high-mobility artillery rocket system that has been positioned in the Philippines since 2024, bringing long-range precision, strike capability into the operational picture in a way that would directly complicate any Chinese military action in the area. Balikatan, 2025, does not exist in a vacuum. It is a direct response to a pattern of Chinese behavior in the South China Sea that has grown progressively more aggressive, more provocative, and more dangerous over the past several years. In early April, just weeks before the exercise commenced, China constructed a sea barrier in the disputed area around Scarborough Shoal, physically blocking Philippine vessels from accessing territory that the Philippines claims as its own, and that international law supports that claim. At the same time, Philippine naval forces spotted 10 Chinese Coast Guard vessels operating in the area. The confrontation was not merely territorial. Chinese naval forces reportedly fired on Philippine ships, an act of direct military aggression against a sovereign nation and a treaty ally of the United States. This pattern of behavior, incremental encroachment, physical blockades, and now direct fire on Allied vessels, has convinced both Manila and Washington that the era of managing Chinese aggression through diplomatic protests alone is over. The Philippines needs credible military capability, it needs reliable partners, and it needs to demonstrate to Beijing, to the region, and to its own people that it will not be coerced into surrendering its legal rights in its own waters. Balikatan 2025 is that demonstration. China's reaction has been swift, pointed, and predictable. A spokesman for China's foreign ministry responded to the exercise on April 21st with a statement that captured Beijing's standard posture toward allied military activity in the region, warning that countries which continue to rely on external security partnerships to protect themselves risk bringing disaster upon themselves. The message, thinly veiled, was directed primarily at the Philippines, a nation that China has long pressured to distance itself from its security alliance with the United States. Lu Dongshu, president of the Asia Center think tank based in Paris and vice president of the University of Darwin, offered a more measured analytical perspective. He observed that the Philippines is conducting this exercise as a rational response to a geopolitical environment that has become genuinely tense and genuinely dangerous, particularly in its relationship with China. Manila, he argued, is not being provocative. It is being prudent. The head of the Institute for Defense Studies was even more direct, stating that Balikatan 2025 will help the Philippines fully implement its national defense policy, a policy designed specifically to counter the territorial threats that China has been escalating with increasing frequency and intensity. The exercise, he said, is a clear and unambiguous message to the region and to the world. The Philippines and its partners are ready to defend the international rules-based order against coercion, against intimidation, and against illegal territorial claims that have no basis in international law. While the immediate strategic context of Balikatan 2025 is the South China Sea and China's behavior within it, the broader message of the exercise reaches further to Moscow as well as Beijing. Russia and China have developed an increasingly close strategic partnership in recent years, coordinating their diplomatic positions, their military activities, and their challenges to the Western-led international order across multiple theaters simultaneously. The war in Ukraine and the confrontation in the Middle East are not unconnected events from Beijing's perspective. They are part of a broader strategic environment that both Moscow and Beijing have sought to shape in their favor. Balikatan 2025, with its unprecedented scale, its expanded coalition of partners, and its deliberate positioning in contested waters, sends a message to both capitals. The United States and its allies are not distracted. They are not overextended, and they are not retreating from their commitments in the regardless of what is happening simultaneously in the Persian Gulf or on the plains of eastern Ukraine. General Bonnet's description of the exercise as a sign of America's commitment to a free and open Pacific was carefully chosen. It was a signal not just to Beijing, but to every capital in the region, from Tokyo to Canberra, from Seoul to New Delhi, that the security architecture the United States has built across the Indo-Pacific remains intact, remains credible, and remains capable of responding to aggression wherever it appears. As Balikatan 2025 unfolds, the Philippines is also approaching a significant political and legal milestone. In July, the country will mark the 10th anniversary of the 2016 International Court of Arbitration ruling that rejected China's sweeping territorial claims in the South China Sea, a ruling that Beijing has consistently refused to recognize, and that Manila has consistently upheld as the legal foundation of its position in the disputed waters. The anniversary will be marked not just with ceremonies and commemorations, but with a renewed commitment by the Philippines and its partners to the principles the ruling enshrined: that the South China Sea is not China's lake, that the rights of smaller nations in their own waters cannot be extinguished by force or intimidation, and that the international legal order established after the Second World War remains the foundation on which regional peace and stability must be built. Balikatan 2025. In this sense, is not merely a military exercise. It is a political statement, a legal statement, and a message to every nation in the region that the line against coercion has been drawn and that this coalition of nations intends to hold it.